This is over how to convert between customary and the metric system. In America, we use the customary system, while in different countries around the world, they use the metric system. But before we do that, let's look at our number routine of alike and different. 2 gallons and 32 cups. What makes them alike and what makes them different? Well, we know each gallon, first of all, alike. They measure water. They hold capacity of water. Different. Well, it's different unit. One is a gallon, one is a cup. But let's bring some mathematics into this. Let me get my calligraphy pen. We know each gallon has 4 quarts. So if you have 2 gallons, that would be 8 quarts. And we know each quart, or 1 quart, has 2 pints. If you have 8 quarts, how many pints would you have? Let's see. If each quart is equal to 2 pints, that's times 2. 8 quarts will be 16 pints. And from this chart, we know each pint, or 1 pint, holds 2 cups. So each pint holds 2 cups, that's times 2. If I have 16 pints times 2, that would be 32 cups. Oh, so that means 2 gallon is the same as saying 32 cups. They are both equivalent. So let's look at our video for today. If it ever loads up.
まだ道覚えてなくて。
離れて最低3メートル。
So, the guy is Uehara. He doesn't want to be seen with Nao, the girl, because he's embarrassed by her. In Japan, they use the metric system, while in the United States, we use the customary system. Can you convert 3 meters into yards? So, let's look at our chart. Each yard, which is yardstick, which is 3 feet, is about 91/100th meter. So 1 yard is the same, I'm going to make myself a ratio table. 1 yard is the same as 91/100 meters. Convert 3 meters into yards. So 3 meters go here. So, how do you turn 91/100 meters into 3 meters? Or, how do you turn 91/100 meters to 1 yard? So do you want to do it between or within? If I do it within, I need to divide by 91/100ths. So what is 3 meters? So I need to divide by 91/100ths. Let's think about it. Are there more yards than meters according to looking at the numbers? Well, first of all, they're equivalent, but the numerical 1 is greater than 91/100. So we know that this number has to be larger than 3, but they are equivalent. So let's divide it. 3 divided by 91/100ths. I don't know about you, but I personally do not like working with decimals. Can I work with friendlier numbers? I'm going to turn that 91/100ths to 91. How? I move the decimal 2 over, or multiply by the power of 100. If I move the decimal 2 over for 3, that would be 300. So 3 divided by 9100 is really saying 300 divided by 91. So how many 91s go into 300? It goes in about 3 times. That's 273. If I subtract 300 from 273, I regroup. That's a 1, that's a 9, and this is a 10, so that'd be 27. I need to get rid of this remainder, so add a decimal, annex a decimal 0. How many 91s fit around 270? Well, we know 3 is too much, so it's about 2. And I'm going to stop right here, since we are approximately doing it. So there are approximately 3 2/10 yards for every 3 meters. And that is what we are going to learn today. So for 1 yard, you have 91 hundredths. For 3 meters, there's about 3 2/10 yard. All right. So for the tres leche cake recipe, let's look at our number routine. Melody needs 7 pints of milk. She has 3 1/4 cups of milk. Does she have enough milk? Explain your reasoning. So we know that for 3 1/4 cups. So let's look at this. We know that for every 1 pint, we know there's for. I need to go back to this. Oh, let's go here. For every quart, there are 2 pints. For every quart, there are 2 pints. For every quart, there are 2 pints. So 1 quart will have 2 pints. 2 quarts will have 4 pints. 3 quarts will have 6 pints. So now we know 6 pints. And then 1/4. Or we can do this one. For 1 quart has 2 pints. I'm going to write it as a unit rate. I have 7 pints. How do you want to do between or within? How do you turn 2 pints to 1 quart? Divide by 2. So 7 divided by 2 is 3 1/2 quarts. So if she has 3 1/2 quarts she needs 3 1/2 quarts, but she only has 3 1/4, she does not have enough because half is way more. It's 1/4 more than 3 1/4 quarts of milk. So does she have enough milk? No, she does not. She needs 3 1/2 quarts of milk. She only has 3 1/4 quarts of milk. Alright, so during class, what we're going to do is we're going to be measuring different items in our classroom using a ruler. A ruler has inches on one side, and on the other side it has centimeters. You will measure it like a pencil, and then you will measure something, and you flip the ruler over, and you'll measure it on that side. Then we're going to graph it. You're going to realize through this graph that for every 1 inch, there are about 2 1/2 centimeters. So if we have 2 inches, if something measured 2 inches, like a pinky or something, it would be about 5 centimeters. If we measure something that's 3 inches long, like a pencil, it would be about 7 1/2 centimeters long. So through this table, we'll make a conclusion that there are about 2 1/2 centimeters for every 1 inch. That is what it is changing by. 2 1/2 inches for every 1 inch. 2 1/2 inches for every 1 inch. So what is the constant of proportionality or ratio in this relationship? There are about about 2.5 centimeters for every 1 inch. How is this represented? If you look at the graph on the other side, you'll see it is increasing 2.5 centimeters for every inch. Write an equation to convert inches to centimeters, and it's kind of right here. So we're going to leave that in this thing. It really should say write a unit rate. So, to maintain his physical perfection, Mr. Joe, that's me, run 5K or kilometer at Memorial Park. 5K is about 5 kilometers. About how many miles does this run? I know 2 years ago I had one of my students who is a runner. She did the Ramco half marathon. So she knew exactly. When I said this problem, she said, oh, blank, blank miles. I was like, whoa. It's like someone knows this really well. For every mile is approximately the same as saying 1 and 61/100 kilometer. So if she ran 5, what would that be? So it's up to you. Do you want to do within or between? Between or within? Let's do a within. How do you turn 1 and 61/100 kilometer to 1 mile? You're dividing by 1 and 61/100. So what is 5 divided by 1 and 61/100? I don't know about you, but when I divide by decimals, I prefer working with friendlier numbers. So let's use 161. So this one, I moved the decimal 2 over to the right. So if I move the decimal 2 over to the right, that'll be 500. So now can I divide 500 by 161? Again, why are we moving the decimal 2 over? You're multiplying by the power of 100. So 500 divided by 161. How many groups of 161 go into 500? 1, 2, 3? I'm going to try 3. I don't know if that works, but let's see it. That's 18, carry 1. 483. Not bad. 500 minus 483 would be 17. I need to get rid of this remainder. Add a decimal, annex a decimal 0. How many 161 go into 170? About 1 time. So we're not going to solve this completely. We're going to say 5 kilometer is the same as 3 1/10 mile. Because I know when I ran 3 miles, because Memorial Park is about 3 miles, you can see the 5 kilometer sign. It's a little past more the 3-mile mark. So this is a conversion chart of customary metric. We are definitely going to use this. You do not need to memorize any of this. You just need to understand how to use it by creating a ratio table or proportion. To convert measurement unit, conversion can be written as unit rate. For example, 1 pound is equivalent to 453 6/10 gram. You can use this unit rate to convert grams to pounds. So for example, Mrs. Thomas cooked a 4-pound chicken for lunch. So 4 pounds. What is the estimated mass in grams? So let's go back to our chart. What is a pound equivalent to a gram? Here it is. 1 pound is the same as 453 6/10 gram. Let's write that down. 1 pound is the same as 453 6/10 gram. Would you like to write it this way as the unit rate, or would you like to write it pounds over gram? It does not matter. So let's multiply between. How do you turn 1 pound to 4 pounds? The scale factor will be times 4. So if you multiply 453 6/10 by 4, you get 24. Carry the 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. Carry the 1. That's 21. Carry the 2. That's 18. So right there, 1 place behind the decimal point. So 1,814 4/10 gram is the same as saying 4 pounds. Let's try another example. I made 4 gallons of lung potion to entrap Lucy. Lucy Liu it's my favorite star on television. She was also in Kill Bill, the movie. She was the Japanese samurai, or whatever you call the female version of samurai. About how many liters of love potion did I make? Honestly, I really don't need to make love potion because she'll just be enamored by me. So, gallons and liters. So let's look at our thing. Gallons and liters. Gallons and liters. So 1 gallon is the same as 3 and 7,900 liters. So 1 gallon is the same as 3 and 7,900 liters. So let's label our ratio table. Gallons and liters. I made 4 gallons. How can I build 1 gallon to 4 gallons? I multiply by the scale factor of 4. If I multiply 3 and 79 hundredths by 4, what will I get? 4 times 9 is 36, carry the 3. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3 is 31, carry the 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So it'll be 15 and 1600 liter. 4 gallon is the same as saying 15 and 1600 liter. And our last example is this. The elevator at Taylor High School travels a maximum distance of 12 meters. Determine it in yards. So yards and meter. 1 yard is 91 hundredths meter. If you look at your chart, that's what it would say. 12 meters. How do I build 91 hundredths into 12? Or, how do I turn 91 hundredths into 1? I divide by 91 hundredths. So what's 12 divided by 91 hundredths? I don't know about you, but I don't like working with decimals. How can I turn this 9100th divisor into a friendlier number of 91? I move the decimal 2 over to the right because of the power of 100. Move the decimal 2 powers 2 over to the right, that'll be 1200. So let's divide this. 1200 divided by 91 is the same as saying 12 divided by 91 hundredths. So how many 91s go into 1200? It goes in 1 time. 120 minus 91 is 19. No, it's 29, I mean. 10, carry 1, 10. Yep, 29. I bring down the 0. How many 91s go into 290? I think about 3 times. That'd be 273. So if I subtract 290 minus from 273, that would be 17 will be my remainder. I need to get rid of this remainder, so add a decimal, annex a decimal 0. How many 91s go into 170? About 1 time. I'm going to stop right there. So 1 yard is the same as saying 9100 meter. 13 and 1/10 yard is the same as saying 12 meters. So why is it important that you understand how to do conversion? Well, many years ago, as soon as this video worked, there was an accident by NASA. Here it is.
Oh, hey science friends! Today I will be explaining why keeping track of your units while converting or otherwise is so important. While forgetting to bring your units in chemistry class doesn't feel like a big deal now, this oversight cost NASA over $327 million and multiple jobs when the Mars Climate Orbiter disintegrated September 23rd of 1999. And when Lockheed Martin failed to change NASA's units in the rover's calculating software from pound seconds to newton seconds, causing over 7 mathematical mistakes in trajectory. The rover disintegrated in space due to atmospheric stress.
So that's why what we just did, because it's very important when you convert customary to metric or metric to customary system, you do the mathematics correct. You see NASA has the brightest mathematicians, scientists, and even they made mistakes. So try to do it carefully, please. And this is the study of converting between systems.